there any that you want to cook with or that you really don't want to cook with?
I'm most unfamiliar with kanten. Hello, welcome to the Kate Gourmet. Today we'll be doing something a little different. It's a mystery ingredient challenge with Cassie's Kitchen. I'll link to her channel in the description. Let's talk to Cassie and see about this challenge. Hi Cassie.
Hi Jeremy.
So you have a mystery ingredient challenge for us.
Yeah, so I had this idea where basically we would come up with 10 unique Japanese ingredients. So we've both come up with 5 each and we've got our list. So we're going to spin a wheel and find out what our ingredient is. And the goal is to come up with an original dish that highlights that ingredient. So first we'll spin a wheel for the ingredient and we both have to use that ingredient. But then we'll spin another wheel separately, so we'll both have a different cooking method.
That sounds great. So we set a few rules that we both have to follow to come up with our original dish. So no checking recipes, but a little bit of research beforehand to see how to prepare the ingredient is okay in case it's something that we've never used before. So the second rule is that we must use the cooking method, but if that ingredient doesn't lend itself well to that cooking method, as long as we use that cooking method in the recipe, that's okay. Third one is no practice run. We'll be trying out this ingredient for the first time on camera in the video. The caveat to that one is that we can do 2 attempts, but we must show our first attempt. So those are some of the rules that we came up with. So let's talk about what ingredients we've picked. So on the wheel today we have kanten, goya, shiso, hijiki, myoga.
We also have shirasu, edamame, anko, pickled daikon, and sweet potato. So we have a lot of challenging ingredients on there. What are your thoughts? Is there any that you want to cook with or that you really don't want to cook with?
I think the one that I'm most unfamiliar with is kanten. I'm not really sure how to use it yet, but we'll see. How about you?
So I guess if I had to pick one that I wanted to come up, I guess it would be sweet potato, just because I've done stuff with potatoes before and I've used sweet potato like once before. But I'm also a little bit worried about kanten, even though I've done sweets and have like some ideas of what you would use it for. I've never actually used it myself, so it could be quite difficult.
Let's spin the wheel and see what comes up. All right, so it's goya. I've only made goya champuru with it, so
Yeah, what else can you use it for?
there are ways you can stuff it with like meat and use it in that way too. So it's good to get outside the goya champuru comfort zone, I guess. Perfect for our first challenge.
Now we've got to find out what our cooking method is.
Oh, right,
We
yeah.
have to do goya in an oven. I don't. Let's see. So I'm going to pick one for Jeremy, and then he'll pick one for me. Let's go. Hot or nabe?
Okay, I guess I can make that work. So since I have nabe, I'll be taking that off the wheel for Cassie. Let's see what Cassie will be cooking goya with.
Oh.
What?
Maybe I can make like a bread or something?
That sounds like an interesting idea.
I guess like a Goya pizza wouldn't be too bad. I do love my oven. I do like baking things, so maybe it will be my new favorite dish. Who knows?
Look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Okay, well, let's go buy our ingredients then.
All right, sounds good. Good luck.
Thank you.
So goya in a nabe. I've never made soup with goya. I'm gonna go shopping and see if I can come up with any ideas for goya in a nabe. We're back from the supermarket, we got our goya, and a few other things. I think I have an idea of what I'm gonna make now. I'm not gonna make a hot and sour soup, I'm gonna make a hot, sour, and bitter soup. The other supporting ingredients I picked up are dried shiitake mushrooms, dried wood ear mushrooms, sesame oil, vinegar, the sour of hot and sour, tofu, cilantro, bamboo shoots, dried red peppers, the hot of hot and sour, and finally some pork shoulder. The pork shoulder we're going to cut into some strips, so to do that easily, I'm going to put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Before preparing anything else, I'm going to rehydrate the wood ear mushrooms and shiitake mushrooms. The wood ear mushrooms will just soak in some water. It may look like a small amount right now, but they will get pretty big in about a half an hour. The shiitake mushrooms would take about 3 hours to rehydrate with cold water, so I'll use some hot water to speed up the process. I'll set those aside for about 30 minutes. Okay, let's get to the main star of the challenge, the goya. To prepare the goya, I'll first cut off the ends, and then in half. I'll stand them up and then cut lengthwise in half. The seeds and pith here need to be removed, which can easily be scooped out with a spoon, like this. Next, I'll slice it into half moons. I'll toss those in a strainer, sprinkle with a little salt, give it a couple tosses so they are coated, and place them over the sink. This process should help them purge some of their bitterness. Next, I'll cut up some dried red chilies, dice up some ginger, green onions, and wash some cilantro for a garnish later. Cilantro really goes great on hot and sour soup. Next, let's cut the chilled pork into strips by slicing it, stacking it, and cutting through until roughly the same size. Place in a bowl, add some sake, and give it a brief mix. This is done to remove any smells and to tenderize the meat. Add some sesame oil for fragrance, and starch to keep it from overcooking. Give that a mix so it's all coated and set it aside. Hey, look at that, I used goya in 2 ways in this recipe. This time as a weight to squeeze out the moisture from the tofu. Let's cut the tofu into strips, very similar to how we cut the meat. Look how big the wood ear mushrooms grew. Discard the liquid and slice as thinly as possible. The shiitake mushrooms also rehydrated, but very important, we will not toss this liquid. We will reserve it and use some in the soup later. Remove any tough stems and slice, like this. Okay, so we have everything ready now. It was a lot of prep. Luckily, one of the constraints of the challenge wasn't an ingredient limit. I may have needed to make some tough decisions, but we're ready to cook. Let's get out our nabe. This should go pretty quick now that we have everything ready. Add some oil into the nabe. Saute the meat until it has some color on it. Toss in the ginger, green onions, and dried red peppers. Give that all a mix and cook until it's super fragrant. Oh my. Add in the bamboo shoots, shiitake mushrooms, and wood ear mushrooms. I'm going to add the goya here so that it has a chance for the bitterness to cook out. Give that a mix so everything is well incorporated. Now the broth. Add in 4 tablespoons each of soy sauce and sake, with a couple teaspoons of granulated chicken stock and 2 cups of water. Also, don't forget the reserved liquid from the shiitake mushrooms. I'll add in about a half cup strained. Give that a good mix. Let's cover that up and let it come to a simmer. Okay, so it's come up to a simmer. Let's take a look. Whoa. Skim the surface. Very important, give it a taste. Let's add in 4 tablespoons of vinegar. Add in the tofu and gently stir. Now that the goya has cooked through, I'm going to turn it down to low. Drizzle over a slurry of starch and water until it becomes a nice velvety consistency. Just before serving, add in some beaten eggs and let it set briefly. Serve in a large bowl and top with cilantro. And there we have it, our hot sour bitter soup. So it's hot and sour soup with some goya. Let's see how it is. Let's see how it works. This is our moment of truth. We should start with the goya first. Here we go. The sourness and bitter together actually really works. Yeah, I really like that. It has a bit of bitterness to it still, but that's expected and that's what you want really if you're eating a bitter melon. I've never made goya with a soup before, so one of my concerns was whether the goya would overpower the rest of the soup. It doesn't. The soup tastes great, it's nice and balanced. The goya has just the right amount of bitter to it. I'm pretty happy with this. So there it is, our mystery ingredient challenge with goya. Make sure to check out Cassie's video here to see what she does with goya in an oven. If you enjoyed this mystery ingredient challenge, leave a like. Let us know in the comments below which ingredient you'd like to see us cook next. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos just like this.